How much would you get paid if you had a dividend portfolio worth £3,479,680? A number so large I had to write it down so I didn't forget, because there's so many numbers. Well, in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at that. So this is the chap who has a portfolio of this size. I'm going to be seeing exactly how much he's making in dividends. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so as you can see in his baby holdings here, they range from £25,000 all the way up to £66,000, and we're going to be looking at this not in terms of annual dividends but in terms of holdings. That's how I've arranged it here. So first up is Starbucks. So it has a holding here of 25,150. The yield here is 3.06%, and the annual dividends that this guy receives from Starbucks is £771. Chump change. Okay, next up we have Home Depot, ticker symbol HD. Holding here is £37,959, and the yield here, dividend yield at time of recording, is 2.46%. So the annual dividends that he receives is £920. Travelers companies are up next, ticker symbol TRV. Holding is £41,636. These numbers are crazy, and they're about to get even crazier. Yield here is 1.64%. Annual dividends from this company is £682. Amplify ETFs up next. There's a couple of these, but one's an international and one's a national holding. So the ticker symbol here is IDVO. Holding here is £42,682. Dividend yield being 5.32%. Annual dividends £2,268. Stepping up a bit. Colgate Palmolive up next. Ticker symbol CL. Over 50,000. £51,392 holding. 2.7% dividend yield, £1,387 in dividends, over £100 a month on average. It gets crazier. Chevron up next, ticker symbol CVX, £58,000 holding. Yield is 4.34%. Annual dividends, £2,517. Apple is up next, ticker symbol AAPL. Holding £62,445, but the dividend yield of Apple is only 0.38%. Traditionally a growth stock, so not that much of a dividend, but still £240. Not to be sniffed at, not for me, certainly. Kimberly Clark up next, ticker symbol KMB, £66,798. Dividend yield 4.21%. Annual dividends £2,812. Now, this rounds off his baby holdings. So let's step things up a bit in terms of holding. So now we go from holdings of 73,000 all the way up to 115,000. So Caterpillar at first, ticker symbol KAT. Holding here is £73,886. The dividend yield being just over 1%, so only £773. That wouldn't even heat my hot tub for a week. That's nuts. Then we've got ExxonMobil, ticker symbol XOM. Holding here that he has is £78,161. Dividend yield being 3.60%. Annual dividends £2,815. Now, so don't forget, if you want to check this guy out, I have linked down there in the description if you want to go see his channel and his portfolio a little bit more. Philip Morris up next, ticker symbol PM. So not quite got £100,000 of this holding, needs to probably step up his game a little bit. £95,835, dividend yield being 4.07%, and that gives us annual dividends from this position of £3,904. Southern Company up next, ticker symbol SO. Holding here, he's finally broken £100,000, £105,230, dividend yield being 3.15%, and that gives us annual dividends here of £3,312. Next up is Pepsi, ticker symbol PEP. He has a holding here of £112,197. Numbers are nuts. Dividend yield being 3.89%, and that gives us annual dividends of £4,369. Next up is Coca-Cola, ticker symbol KO, holding here of £114,787, dividend yield being 2.96%, and he receives dividends here of £3,998 per year. And there's Coca-Cola finally getting one over Pepsi in this holding. Procter & Gamble finished off this little section, ticker symbol PG, holding here is £115,784, dividend yield being 2.81%, and the annual dividends here are £3,254. We're stepping things up again. So in this particular section, we have holdings ranging from £122,000 all the way up to £159,000. So to kick things off, we have McDonald's, ticker symbol MCD, holding here is £122,356. Dividend yield being 2.49%, gives us just over £3,000. I'll do that a lot. Gives him just over £3,000 in annual dividends. Next up is Duke Energy, ticker symbol DUK. Holding is £133,871. Dividend yield 3.43%, and that gives us annual dividends from this one position of £4,588. Goldman Sachs up next, ticker symbol GS. Holding here is £140,154. Dividend yield is just over 2%, 2.03%, and that gives us £2,840 in dividends. Next up is British American Tobacco, ticker symbol BATS. Now, you might notice this one. I've also got this holding, not in this quantity, just a little bit off. This guy's got £144,337 invested. The current dividend yield is 6.17%, and this gives them annual dividends short of £9,000, £8,911. Now, I own this stock, so it will come in two different payments. So you'll probably be looking at one of like £3,500 and one of like over £5,000. Not too shabby. Enterprise Products up next, ticker symbol EPD. Holding here is £147,288. Dividend yield is 7%, and that gives him an annual dividend from this one company of £10,428. Gotta be nice, wouldn't it? Amplify ETFs up next. So this is the other one. Like I said before, one's an international, one's a national. This is DIVO. Holding here is £159,372. The yield is a whopping 10.08%, and that gives this chap £16,099 in annual dividends. No, sorry, I've skipped one, haven't I? Yeah, £7,216. Next up is JetQ, £159,000, 10.08%, £16,000 in annual dividends. Okay, sorry, I was getting excited because I can see the big ones coming up next. So this is the biggest holdings in this portfolio. Here we go. So they range from 160,000 up to 220,000. So Goldman Sachs, ticker symbol GPIQ. Holding here is £160,726. A whopping dividend yield again of 9.52%. Gives us annual dividends of £15,293 for this guy just from this holding. Next up is Johnson & Johnson, ticker symbol JNJ. Holding here is £182,637. Dividend yield being 2.75%, and that's an extra £5,028 in annual dividends. Next up, we have Microsoft, Ticker symbol MSFT. Holding here is £193,660. But Microsoft, kind of like Apple, more of a growth stock, don't pay much of a dividend. Dividend yield here is 0.70%. And that gives us annual dividends of £1,361 per year. So it's still averaging over £100 a month, which is not too shabby. AbbVie up next, ticker symbol ABBV. Holding here, broken £200,000, £203,213. Crazy numbers. Dividend yield 3.17%. Annual dividend £6,449. Altria up next, ticker symbol MO. Holding here is £214,193. Yield is 7.52%. Annual dividends £16,108. Okay, and next up is a really popular one, Schwab ETF SCHD. Holding here is £216,102. Dividend yield 3.87%, and that gives them £8,352 in annual dividends. And then last but certainly not least is the biggest holding in this guy's portfolio, and that's Realty Income, which is a monthly payer. And he holds £220,061 of this particular stock. Dividend yield is 5.58%, giving them annual dividends of £12,274. And that is a monthly payer. So just off this one position, they're getting over £1,000 per month. Not too shabby. Right, totals. So the total portfolio, as is up above, and like I said before, is £3,479,680. Now, the average is 4.34% dividend yield. Now, if you want to get started with this, if you want to start investing, there'll be a link down there in the description. And if you start investing, you're trying to catch this guy up like I am. When you start investing, you'll get a free share between £10 and £200. And it's yours to do what you want with, just like all these people have done. So if you want to do that and you want a little leg up in your investing journey, the link down there in the description. Now, the annual dividends that this guy received in total, £151,430. That's not too shabby. Now, this guy is only a little bit ahead of me in terms of my own investing journey. If you want to see exactly where I am and my own portfolio, you can go and click that video right there. But apart from that, I'm Steve. This is the Extra Income Boss. That was a little different, showing you a guy who's, well, the future me. 3.4 million dividend portfolio. I'll see you guys again in that one right there. Peace.